Richard looked at him with a gloomy expression. Don't have any ideas about her. Grayson laughed. See, you care so much, why pretend? Richard's lips moved. She has someone she likes. Ah, who? Not someone else, her ex-boyfriend. Ah, ex-boyfriend? That's all in the past. If he's an ex, it means it's over. You treat her well now and she'll eventually like you. That's impossible. She's willing to give up her life for her ex-boyfriend. She's even willing to have his child. With his threat, she still insisted on keeping the child. Isn't that risking her life? Then you should treat her even better, influence her, let her see that you're much better than her ex-boyfriend. Use your goodness to compare with his badness. Richard's brow furrowed deeply. Grayson seemed to have noticed something. You're not going to get angry with her, are you? Looking at Richard's non-committal expression, Grayson slapped his thigh. Ah, I knew it. You're always so awkward. If you get angry with her, won't she think you're worse than her ex-boyfriend? You're just pushing her further away. When she's gone for good, you'll regret it. Richard's mind was in turmoil. Okay, shut up. Just mind your own business. Richard quickly walked out and stood by the floor-to-ceiling window looking outside. Should he treat her well? If he treated her well, would she be willing to abort the illegitimate child? He could allow her to have other men, but he would never allow others to raise his child. Returning to the office, he said to Elijah beside him, "Book a restaurant and tell Kira." Elijah was thrilled to hear this. That's right, President Duncan. After all, the two of them see each other every day. Their relationship needs to be eased. I'll go tell Madam now. When Kira returned to the villa, she saw Elijah walking out with a smile and saying to her, "Madam, the master wants to invite you to dinner." Invite me? Why? She stepped back warily. Elijah quickly explained, "The master thinks he scared you these past few days and wants to apologize to you. Here's address." The address is Moonflower Western Restaurant. Moonflower? Kira had heard of it. It seemed to be the best place for couples to date because it was located in the tallest building in the city and offered a beautiful view of the entire city at night. Of course, it was also very romantic, so it was difficult to get a table. Richard actually booked that place? That was the holy land of romantic dates for couples. Did he think they could go there? Is he going to ask her out? Kira's face turned red involuntarily. She glanced at the beautiful dress beside her and felt a slight longing in her heart. Just as she was about to leave, she received a call from Heidi. "Something's wrong, Kira. Felix is in trouble. He's been taken away by someone," Heidi said in a panicked voice. "What?" Kira was stunned. "What do you mean he's been taken away?" "I don't know. There were a lot of thugs who took him away. I'm so scared. They're so fierce. Will they kill him?" Heidi started crying. Hearing this, Kira immediately picked up her dress and rushed out. "I'm coming to find you. Don't cry." She hailed a taxi and headed straight to the place Heidi mentioned. Meanwhile, Elijah returned to the villa to pick up Kira, but he couldn't find her. He felt strange that she had put on the dress but was nowhere to be seen. What could it mean? He hurried to the dining room, which was newly decorated. Richard was sitting inside, dressed in black, lost in thought. When he heard the sound, he looked up and saw Elijah walking in alone. His gaze froze and a coldness slowly emerged. "Kira isn't coming?" Elijah quickly said, "No, Madam was just about to come, but when she was leaving, someone suddenly called. It sounded like Miss Miller, and she sounded very urgent, so Madam quickly ran out." "Humph, so she's still not coming." Richard gritted his teeth and threw the napkin on the table with a snap, glanced at the things on the table and showed a sarcastic smile. All the careful preparations had become a joke now. Kira left and headed straight to the place Heidi had mentioned. As soon as she entered, Heidi rushed over. There was another woman inside, crying loudly. "How could they take Felix away like that? Felix is about to take an exam. What are we going to do? They won't hurt him, will they?" "Auntie, don't worry, we'll go find him," Heidi said quickly. Seeing Kira come in, Heidi came out. "What should we do, Kira?" "They took Felix and said his family owed a loan shark. If they don't pay, they'll chop off his fingers." Kira had never encountered such a thing before, and seeing how worried she was, she could only ask, "What can we do? Did they say where to give them the money?" Otherwise, let's call the police. But Mrs. Fu hurried over and said, we can't call the police. They will hurt Felix. Heidi, don't you have any money? I see you're usually very generous. Can you help Felix? We don't know anyone else, just you who's capable. Please help Felix. Heidi didn't know what to do, gritted her teeth and muttered, well, if not, I'll try. After Kira saw the hopeful look on Mrs. Fu's face, she went out and asked Heidi, what are you going to do? You're not going to pay for this, are you? How much did they borrow from the loan shark? Not much, just 3 million, Heidi said. They said his father gambled and lost to them. Felix is really pitiful. How could he have such a father? Kira was taken aback. 3 million? Do you know how much money that is for an ordinary family? If you give it to them this time, what if they think you're rich and keep asking you for money in the future? Heidi quickly replied, no, they're not that kind of people. Look, their family owes money before, but he never told me. If I hadn't found out this time, he wouldn't have told me. It shows that he never thought of asking me for money. Kira didn't know what to say for a moment. But 3 million is still a lot. What are you going to do? My dad was going to buy me a house next month for me to move out. Otherwise, I'll take that money out first. Kira felt that something was off, but it was Heidi's money and her boyfriend. She couldn't say much. Heidi was so worried that she went home to ask her family for money and came back with the cash, ready to go find them. Kira was worried and said, I'll go with you. But you're pregnant. What if something happens? Heidi said, I can't let you go alone. If we go together, we can take care of each other. Don't worry, I'll take care of myself. Heidi hugged her. Okay, I know you're good to me. The two of them arrived at the place they were told to go, an old mahjong parlor in the old city district. Inside the dilapidated room with a musty smell, a few people looked at them and brought them in. Felix was tied to a chair inside. As soon as he saw them, he said, Heidi, why are you here? Don't worry about me and my family's problems. I don't want to affect you. Heidi looked at him with heartache and anxiously looked at these people. You just want money, why do you still have to kidnap people? Let him go and I'll give you the money. She took out a card and said, there are 3 million in it, the password is 6 ones. You can take it and release Felix. Several people were stunned and someone quickly took the bank card with a smile. Wow. There really are 3 million in it? You're not lying to us, are you? Of course it's true. You can check it if you don't believe me. It's only 3 million. I wouldn't cheat people for such a small amount of money. Heidi said confidently. The creepy man turned around and looked at Felix with a smile that was not a smile. I didn't expect it. You're so lucky to have such a rich girlfriend. Felix looked uncomfortable and said to Heidi, Heidi, you don't have to. What are you talking about? How can I not take care of you when you're in trouble? Heidi raised her head and said, you guys should release him now. We'll release him after you go to the bank and withdraw the money. We need to make sure there really are 3 million. The man pulled Kira over and said, what are you doing? Heidi was anxious. Don't worry. She'll stay here for now. You go with us to the bank to withdraw the money. If there really are 3 million, we'll release him. The man said. Kira frowned and looked at Heidi. It's okay, Heidi. You can go. Don't worry about me. Heidi didn't want to leave. The man said, what are you afraid of? We have our professional ethics. If there really are 3 million, we'll release him immediately unless you're playing games with us. Kira nodded and comforted her. You should go now. Heidi could only take a deep look at Kira and walked out with the people. As soon as the person left, the man turned to Kira with a smirk and reached out to touch her face. Kira quickly dodged and said, didn't you say you have professional ethics? The man persisted and leaned in closer, saying, I just want to admire your beauty. Do you have a boyfriend? Kira dodged again and the man frowned, turning to his companions and saying, she's not giving us face. Brothers, hold her down. Several people came forward and held Kira down. She looked at them angrily and said, what are you doing? Do you know who I am? How dare you touch me? Ha, little girl, you're quite feisty. Do you think you can threaten us? The men laughed as they approached her. Kira looked at Felix behind her and said, what are you doing? Can't you say something to help me? Felix was at a loss for words and said, You guys, this has nothing to do with her. Let her go. Kira's eyes darkened and she looked at him disdainfully before turning to the men and saying, I am Richard's wife, the young mistress of the Duncan family. Do you know what will happen if you touch me? The men were momentarily stunned before bursting into laughter. Ha ha, she's the young mistress of the Duncan family? If she's the young mistress, then I'm Richard himself. The man reached out with a disgusting hand towards Kira's face. Kira tried to hold back her nausea and wanted to avoid it, but at this moment the door was kicked open by someone. Several police officers rushed in from outside. The people in the room were stunned and didn't react in time, so they were all pressed to the ground one by one. Everyone, put your hands up. After entering the room, the police officer looked around, quickly went to untie Felix and then came to Kira. Felix looked surprised and asked, What's going on? Who called the police? Kira looked at him suspiciously, feeling that his behavior was a bit strange. The police officer asked Kira, You called the police just now, and you were the one who answered the phone, right? Kira nodded. Since the police officers entered the room, her phone had been in the dialing state. They had heard all the conversations just now. Several people looked at Kira in surprise. No one expected this seemingly weak and simple girl to be so scheming. At this moment, Heidi and a man came back from behind and were also shocked to see the scene. Kira quickly walked over and said, Heidi, everything's fine now. You called the police? Heidi asked in surprise. Kira nodded. I didn't think these people would easily let us go. I was worried that something might happen, so I called the police in advance. Heidi looked relieved and said, Wow, Kira, you're so smart. She glared angrily at the group of people and said, Humph, lending money at high interest rates and waiting to go to jail. The police came up to the two of them and said, You also need to come with us and make a statement. Okay. Heidi quickly ran to Felix, who looked gray-faced, and asked worriedly, Are you scared? Are you okay? Did you get hurt anywhere? Felix squeezed out a smile and said, I'm fine. He looked at Kira again and said, Thank you for coming to help me. Heidi pouted and said, I'm your girlfriend, what's there to thank? The group of people were taken to the police station, made their statements, and then left. However, when they got to the door, they saw Richard standing by the door. Kira's expression froze. Grayson was also there, looking at the two of them awkwardly and said, Ah, Miss Griffin, we meet again. The police called us just now and Richard was very worried, so he rushed over. Richard frowned and glared threateningly at Grayson, then looked at Kira and said, You really know how to cause trouble. Kira was speechless and said, I didn't know the police would call you. At this point, the police cautiously walked up from behind and said, Because we heard you say that you are the Duncan family's young lady, we felt it necessary to inform President Duncan. Kira's mouth twitched. She regretted saying that sentence. Richard snorted and looked at the shivering group of thugs. Is it them? This is a society ruled by law. They actually did such a thing. I believe you can enforce the law and give them a lesson. The people at the police station were busy saying, Yes, that's for sure. The gangsters behind them all looked miserable, especially the one who had just touched Kira. They never expected that what she said was actually true. Grayson sympathetically looked at these people, knowing that with Richard watching from behind, their fate could be imagined. At this moment, Heidi came out with Felix. When she saw Grayson, she was immediately stunned. What are you doing here? Grayson smirked and looked at her, mocking, I came to see Miss Miller. She fell in love and ended up in the police station. It's really impressive. Felix's face darkened. Heidi's face turned red with anger. It's none of your business. What does it have to do with you? Grayson replied bluntly, It has nothing to do with me, so I came to watch the show. Kira felt embarrassed and quickly said, Okay. Thank you, Teacher Larson, for coming. If there's nothing else, Heidi, let's go back first. Felix's mother is worried. Heidi glared at Grayson fiercely and said, I'll drive. You wait outside and don't talk to those lunatics. Felix could only force a smile. Heidi walked out and Grayson could only shrug at Kira. Kira didn't know how these two ended up like this, so she could only smile helplessly and follow Heidi out. When only Richard and Grayson were left, Grayson said, Now you know. She really was delayed because of something. You can have your candlelit dinner anytime, but as a friend, she can't just sit back and do nothing when something happens. Don't blame her too much. Richard remained cold and said, "You're just meddling. You're not only foolish but you also don't care if she's pregnant or not." Grayson's eyes flickered. "Are you starting to worry about the child in her belly? Didn't you say it's not yours? You even hoped she would have a miscarriage." Richard's eyes flickered as he spoke. If she wanted to have an abortion, she should have gone to the hospital instead of risking her life outside. After finishing his sentence, Richard walked out of the room. Grayson could only sigh and shake his head at the awkward man. However, as they walked out of the police station, Grayson noticed Richard stop and gesture for him to be quiet. Following Richard's gaze, Grayson saw Felix talking on the phone not far away. "You can't expose me, this was your idea. Let me pretend to be kidnapped by you so I can ask my girlfriend for money. She did bring the money, but it was your fault for harassing Kira that caused all this trouble. We made a deal, you can't break it. And if you expose me now, you'll have a worse time in the future. I can still ask my girlfriend for money, she loves me and will give it to me. That Kira is indeed related to Richard, I knew it a long time ago. Someone from Huanyu told me. Trust me, I'll get you more money in the future." Grayson was shocked by what he heard, but Richard remained calm and withdrew from the scene. Outside, Grayson was angry. "He's such a scumbag. I told Heidi but she didn't believe me. I have to show her what kind of person she's dating." "Do you think she'll believe you just because you tell her?" Richard frowned lightly. "Besides, I think he has other secrets. He said someone from Huanyu told him about Kira's relationship with me." "Someone from Huanyu? I suspect they're using him to get close to Kira." Grayson's eyes widened as he finally remembered something. "Heidi didn't even know how capable the other person was when she was in love," Grayson said. "Humph, birds of a feather flock together," Richard said through gritted teeth. "Her taste is so bad." Grayson looked at him silently. "You're not much better losing to a scumbag." "What do you mean losing to a scumbag?" Richard's face turned black. Kira returned to the villa after comforting Heidi, and suddenly remembered that Richard was taking her out to dinner tonight. She hurried to Richard's study. "Richard, I'm sorry we couldn't have a good meal today. Is it just dinner and nothing else?" she asked anxiously. Richard looked up with a smile. "Do you have any other questions?" I was afraid it was some kind of business gathering that I had to attend," Kira said. "What kind of person are you to me? Why would I take you to a business gathering?" Richard said directly. "Just go out, you've already wasted a day's time." Kira quickly left. However, when she got outside, she saw Elijah walking towards her with a somewhat dejected expression. "It's really unfortunate today Miss didn't go to dinner." "He said it wasn't an important dinner," Kira said. Elijah was getting more and more exasperated. Finally, he spoke up. Mr. Richard had arranged a candlelit dinner for you. It was supposed to be very romantic. He had even booked the entire restaurant. It's a shame that this happened." Kira was surprised and stunned. A candlelit dinner, how romantic. Why would Richard prepare something like this for her? It was even more surprising than taking her to a business gathering. However, she suddenly felt guilty for leaving like that. She didn't understand why Richard had prepared this for her. Didn't go to dinner. As Elijah was about to leave, Kira quickly grabbed him and asked, "What can I do now? I don't have anything and I don't have any gifts to give him. Do you know what he likes? It doesn't have to be expensive, I can't afford it anyway." Elijah quickly reassured her, "Miss, whatever you give, Mr. Richard will like it. He doesn't care about the price. Actually, Mr. Richard doesn't have any particular likes or dislikes. He has always been obsessed with work and doesn't pay attention to other things." Kira thought for a moment and came up with an idea. Since Richard liked work, she could give him a pen. She quickly ran back home, happy to start planning. The next day, she made plans with Heidi to go to the mall to pick out a gift for Richard. Kira noticed that Heidi was feeling down and asked, "What's wrong? Isn't the Felix situation resolved? He's not paying attention to me again. Maybe he's feeling insecure," Heidi sighed. Kira was speechless. "Do you have to worry about his insecurities every day? His family is not something he can control after all. It's all because of that Grayson always talking nonsense. He was chatting with me yesterday and Felix saw us. He kept saying bad things about Felix. It really made me angry, Heidi complained. Kira was surprised. You still chat with him? But if you don't like him, why not just delete him? I can't do that. I want to make him see that he's wrong. Felix is not as bad as he thinks. He's just too arrogant and looks down on people with bad family backgrounds. But no one can choose their own family, Heidi explained. As they were talking, they suddenly saw Dylan and Erica walking hand in hand behind them. Kira quickly pulled Heidi to hide. I can't believe it. She got caught plagiarizing your work and Dylan is still with her, Heidi said. Kira sighed. Erica is really good at manipulating people and she knows Dylan better than I do. Let's just pretend we didn't see them. I think he's just obsessed with her. You said they've done everything together. Men are so foolish, Heidi said. They then noticed a shop with famous pens and decided to go in. However, they saw Diana with a man outside the shop. That's Diana, but why is she with a man? Could she be cheating on Richard? Heidi whispered. Diana's expression changed when she saw them, and she quickly asked the man to leave. She then walked into the shop as if nothing had happened. Kira, what are you doing here? Heidi asked. And who is that running away? We're all classmates, let's call him over and introduce him. Diana glared at her. That's my brother. What's the problem? Heidi looked suspicious. Is he really your brother? You're holding hands with him like a couple. I'm going to ask your family if you really have a brother. Diana's face darkened, but she quickly retorted, Heidi, do you think you've caught me doing something wrong and want to tattle to Richard? You can go ahead and tell him, but I doubt he'll believe you. You've had a problem with me for a long time. If you go complain, it will only show that you're targeting me. Or do you have evidence that I'm seeing other women? Wow, you're raising your voice so suddenly. There must be something wrong with you, Diana, Heidi continued. I told you there's nothing wrong. Diana blushed and looked at the store. But what are you doing here? Are you buying a gift? Is it for Richard? Kira hesitated, feeling a little embarrassed. Diana noticed her expression and became even more jealous. After what happened last time, you started flirting with Richard, didn't you? Diana accused. You, Kira, I'm buying everything in this store. Shopkeeper, don't sell anything to her. Kira was stunned, watching as Diana confidently pulled out the secondary card Richard had given her. This person really spends money without blinking an eye. Seeing the card, the shopkeeper's face lit up and he quickly came over to serve Diana. See that, Kira? Everything in this store is mine. You should leave now, Diana said triumphantly. Kira was furious. She watched as the salesperson only focused on attending to the big customer, completely ignoring her. She gritted her teeth and suddenly stopped the salesperson. This card cannot be swiped. The salesperson looked surprised. Diana, on the other hand, pushed her aside. It's not your card. If I want to swipe it, I will. Well, this is Richard's supplementary card, right? I am Richard's legal wife, and I say you can't swipe his card, so you can't. Kira retorted. The salesperson was taken aback. Diana paused for a moment, then burst out laughing. Don't believe her. If she's Richard's wife, why is the supplementary card in my hand? Your husband doesn't even want to give you a supplementary card. What kind of wife are you? The salesperson suddenly felt like what Diana said made sense. Madam, since you cannot prove it, we still need to swipe the card, the salesperson advised with a smile. Diana sneered triumphantly and pushed the person aside, saying, See that? I'm the one with money. What are you? Heidi was impressed by her arrogance. She had never seen anyone so brazenly use a man's card before. Kira, however, remained calm and picked up her phone. I'm calling the police right now, she said. Diana mocked her. What can the police do? You'll find out when they arrive, Kira replied, turning to the salesperson. If you want to be an accomplice, swipe her card now. The salesperson hesitated, looking annoyed at the woman who was delaying her earnings. Kira quickly called the police and told them, Someone has used my husband's secondary card to make a purchase. I suspect it was stolen. Diana's face turned pale when she heard this. She pointed at Kira angrily and said, You, how dare you? Richard gave me the card himself and you were there too. Kira looked puzzled. I don't know what you're talking about. The police arrived soon after. I don't believe it. Richard gave me the card himself. What can you do to me? Diana protested. The police officer approached and asked, So, you're saying someone stole your husband's card? Yes, it's her. This card belongs to my husband, Diana said firmly, showing the police officer the card. The officer was taken aback when he saw the rare black card. Who is your husband? The officer asked in surprise. My husband is Richard, Diana replied. The officer was stunned once again. You're Richard's girlfriend? I know you live in the Wangjiang villa. But she claims to be his wife. I'm not sure what's going on here. Kira then pulled out a red notebook. This is our marriage certificate, she said. The officer was completely bewildered. He took the certificate and examined it carefully, looking at the photo of Kira and Richard. He couldn't help but wonder if the photo had been photoshopped. After verifying the authenticity of the certificate, the officer was shocked to find that it was indeed genuine. Kira smiled. So, Mr. Officer, this is real, right? That's why I said this woman stole my husband's card and tried to use it. It's despicable. Diana's face turned gray as she pointed at Kira. You're lying. I'm Richard's girlfriend and he gave me that card. Everyone knows it. Ask anyone who knows him. No one knows you're his wife. Kira crossed her arms and frowned. So, you admit that you're a third party? How dare you openly challenge me, the legal wife? If we were in the past, you would just be a mistress. As the legal wife, I could kill you and no one would care. How dare you shout at me here? You, Kira, how dare you insult me? What's wrong with me insulting you? You're a third party, aren't you? Diana's face turned pale and then red. The shop assistant didn't expect that this person was actually Richard's wife, as the police had confirmed. She trembled and quickly handed the card to Kira. I'm sorry, Madam Duncan. I didn't know. I was fooled by this third party and almost misunderstood you. Why did you give my card to her? Diana rushed over in anger. The shop assistant sternly said, Miss, please behave yourself. The police are here. Being a third party is illegal. As everyone looked at her, Diana was extremely embarrassed. She stomped her feet and looked at Kira. You wait for me. If you dare take my card, I will tell Richard. Go ahead and tell him. I'm not afraid of you. She had already been condemned in Richard's eyes, so what was one more accusation? The police looked at the situation and said, All right, since the matter has been resolved, it's not appropriate for you to stay here. Please come with us. What did you say? Diana's face twisted in disgust. Don't even think about touching me. Why can't we touch you? Kira sneered. You're a thief who stole something. It's funny that you say we can't touch you. The police quickly said, Madam Duncan is right. If you don't come with us, we will have to charge you with obstructing justice. Diana's face changed. She didn't want to have a criminal record. Don't waste time. Let's go, the police said as they pulled Diana out. She struggled and shouted, causing a commotion among the people around them. Meanwhile, inside the store, Kira said to the shop assistant, I like this pen. Can you wrap it up for me? The shop assistant nodded respectfully and said, Yes, Madam Duncan has a good eye. I will wrap it up for you. Diana was furious, but she realized that Kira had seen something. She had walked with that man and might be suspected. She had been careless, but now, to be safe, she had to do something to prevent Kira from exposing her before she found out anything. She looked at her stomach and felt a sense of relief. The good news was that she had a feeling that she was really pregnant now. Heidi felt relieved but also worried. Do you think she will go back and complain? She asked.